History repeated itself at Post Springs recently. The 202-acre nature park in northwest Alachua County was the site of the 2007 reenactment of the Battle of Gainesville. The event was not only a lesson in local history, it also helped raise relief funds for a local family in need.
If you were out at Post Springs the second weekend of December, you may have thought you had taken a step back in time. You were actually watching the first annual Battle of Hogtown, a reenactment of the Battle of Gainesville. The Battle of Gainesville took place at the intersection of University Avenue and Main Street in downtown Gainesville on August 17, 1864.
Well, today you'll see a close as we can get to depiction of the Battle of Gainesville. We don't have that amount of numbers here, but we will try. The Northern Army will come from that end of the field. They will have the cavalry charge first, then the Marines will come out, then their infantry. We will have our cavalry meet them, and then the infantry, and we also have the cannon fire.
The Battle of Gainesville resulted in a Confederate victory. At the time, Gainesville was the site of an important railroad junction and depot for north central Florida. The reenactment allowed many area residents to learn a lesson about their own local history.
It teaches people that don't know about the history or got the wrong impression of the history of the American Civil War, and it shows them what actually happened and how their ancestors bravely fought for what they believed in.
I'm very fond of history. I like being to where you can actually see how it used to be and see how Gainesville came to be how it is today and stuff like that. It's cool.
It's going to be a great battle. We're hoping to see some battle scenes, what it was like when the Confederates are going to advance and they are pushing back to camp. It's really going to be good. It's going to be a good, cool experience.
The event took place over 3 days, including 2 reenactments of the battle, a barn dance, a church service followed by a baptism, as well as music, entertainers, and vendors selling wares similar to those of the 1800s.
The blacksmith, that was really cool too. How it looked like it took so long just to learn how to heat it up and not burn yourself, and how the soldiers lived in the camp back there, and when they were getting ready for battle and how they all had different types of clothing on. They're really good actors.
Reenactors took their roles seriously, many staying in their respective Confederate or Union campsites as if they were living in the 1800s throughout the weekend.
Well, we have living history camps. They're complete military history camps set up, both Union and Confederate, that the people may tour. We have civilian campers that dress in the 1860s clothes, and they have all kinds of wares. They have spinning wheels and all the cooking accoutrements you could think of. We also have sutlers that sell the wares. Everything that I'm wearing you can pick up at a sutler. Your candles, your canteens, your tents, anything you can think of. We have food vendors. We also have authors here who have had books that have made movies from, and some who have not.
Visitors were allowed to wander through the camps and see close up how it may have been to live during the Civil War.
Oh, some of the stuff you see out here right now is you'll see the tents, you'll see the A-frames, you'll see some of the men in uniform with their muskets. All these are replicas of what were used back then. You might even see 1 or 2 originals that men bring out.
The reenactment of the battle lasted about an hour and provided spectators with great entertainment and a realistic look of what happened during the 3rd largest Civil War battle in the state of Florida.
This one here kind of shows a little bit of what it was like back in the 1860s. You know, the clothes we wore, the weapons that we used, the kind of tactics, the formations and stuff like that.
The event was a great learning experience and fun for all ages.
Oh yeah. My wife comes out, she portrays a civilian, my son comes out. He it helps out with an artillery unit when he's able to. Yeah, it's fun for everybody.
Well, what it does, I think it brings back to us our heritage, both the North and the South. And I think it brings it back in a spirit which is devoid of the hate and all that occurred some 100 and some years ago. And I think it's good for our children.
The reenactment was also a fundraiser for little Earl Gardner, an 8-year-old local boy who was burned earlier in the year.
We had a very successful event this weekend. We had close to 500 spectators come and watch us. We had over 300 reenactors. We raised around $1,000 for little Earl for this weekend. So it's a very successful event and will be done next year.
The next reenactment is scheduled for the first weekend in October 2008. For County Update, I'm Shelley Samick.